Alrighty. Hey everybody, I'm Rob the Builder. Can we build it? Yes, we can. Now, today we're continuing our work on our Boss Mustang mags is the key objective today. We got 2 done yesterday, as you would be aware, David. And they're looking pretty swish. I'm pretty happy with them. Yes, I am. So I want to get the other 2 set up today, and then we just got to do the actual chroming on the bolts. We'll worry about that another day. There are a few other bits and bobs I would like to do. At the end of the day, they ain't going to do themselves. So, on that basis, first things first. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, oh yeah, as opposed to ooh yeah. Oh yeah is actually a Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons reference. And what the reference there, I'll bring you all around, guys, comes from the episode where he's working with his brother to build a dam. His brother's running the construction works and employs him as the senior foreman. And Sideshow Bob, being an eternal snob, of course, is rather appalled at the notion and chirps out with, "Oh, and I suppose it'll be up to me to lead the catcalls, will it? Oh, yeah, shake it, madam, capital knockers." And yeah, so, oh, yeah. It's up there with the Seymour Skinner, oh, yes, capital cities, nakedest ladies. They're not even wearing a smile, not even suggestively. Which I went through the other day, I believe, so I'll cease and desist. Now, give me a moment. And I'm back. Now, first thing I'll give you, for those who have not seen, a quick gander at what we did yesterday on the mag front and what we'll be doing today on the others. I can see a spot I may have missed on. Anyway, probably a bit too much. There we go. I like the way they look, I really do. And that's what we need to do on these ones, obviously. Oh god, that's dead sexy. Revell have really made it possible to, bam, goddamn kilogram. How do you figure? Now, before we get onto them, very quickly, Whoop, I need to zoom out a bit more, I think. And there was one other piece, was there? Alrighty, we are very quickly steel. How much have we got left? And then once you've applied this, there's only a couple of bits, and I can do this very quickly on the whole. We shall get stuck into our mags. Actually, while I'm mixing this paint, I might as well mix this one. Hey, I will be using both of them at some juncture. Two-handed shaking, extended play. Now, upside down. How are we traveling on mixing, kids? They're coming to the party. All right. Oh, yeah, that'll do. Now, that's a grey. Maybe it was this one, I think, I used yesterday. Does it really matter? Not really. Hang on. There we go. When a problem comes along, you must lick it. Or you must whip it, mustn't, isn't it? Otherwise, why would it be whip it good? When a problem comes along, you must whip it. There we go. Now. We'll start with a nice chunky brush. This will take us no time at all to get this stuff on. I can see this is going to take a few more coats. Never mind. There we go. I'm going to move that in just a touch so I don't go knocking it on. Yeah, that's looking much nicer. Now, straight away, I mean, that is the whole point of a second coat, isn't it? There we go. I'd say this may even require a third, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. There we go. Oh, hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Now, I do need to be a little aware of the time today, but it's a really nice train setup you got, Jeff. While I'm on this side, I've often speculated that if I had a room I could set up a train track in, I'd go full diorama style with my aircraft and do like a runway. But because of the different nationalities, I might need to do it as an air show sort of a setup. But that's okay too. That's okay. That's okay. So yeah. Anyway. Deedly. Beautiful. There we go. Slowly coming together on the steel front. And then we'll get the jet black out. Yes, we will. Excuse me a moment. You might recall me having a bitch yesterday about my headset not setting properly. I have somehow cracked part of the thing on the side. So what I'm going to have to decide is, does it bother me? I mean, I don't actually use the audio much and ever. And if I'm really that bothered, I do have another headset I can use. It's just this is a better microphone. There we go. All right, that'll do for the time being on that one. Over we go. Now, next, this one. Ooh. Oh yeah. But I do like what you got there, man. I've always thought that that whole and I mean, this is the whole thing with train tracks, isn't it? When you're a kid, it's just like putting up the tracks out of the train. But It's the whole creating the landscape. Here's a question that actually dawned on me yesterday that I'm curious that you'd be able to tell me, in fact. So if I've got a train track, sorry, I thought I just almost knocked that over. I was going, no, but no, it's okay. I was freaked a bit there. That's why I jumped a bit. If you've got a train track that goes up an incline, do you need to make allowances with how you lay that out so that it doesn't actually fall off? If you follow me, is the track strong enough to just hold it, at a certain point, or do you need to be really aware of the angle you've got the track at, so that it'll go up smoothly, rather than sort of like what I'm thinking is if you just go straight up the hill, of course, it might lean out and then is that a thing? Something else I might want to consider. Now, I think this one's almost done. Then it's just that little piece on the backboard. These parts in steel, which is what I'm using instead of iron, are looking better. I'll give you a zoom in on all that we do in iron very shortly. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to give another crack at this. It's a bit rumpty on. It's a very thin paint steel, thinner than any of the other metallics. It's a curious thing. Here we go. Ha! Well, all I'm doing is my usual stuff, but I'm sure you can see what I'm doing at the moment, which is painting a lid. But there's actually a reason for that. It was suggested to me for color identification that it's worth doing, and it is. It does make it a lot easier to identify what your different paint colors are. There we go. That'll do. Oh God, this paint. This one is just this one. The rest of them are beautiful. God, so thin. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, pop that over to there. Now, I'll clean this brush. We've got one more little bit. Then I'm going to zoom in. Now, this next bit I'm going to be needing our goggles for. Just noticed a couple of little tidy-ups I might want to consider in the rear bit there, but that's not our primary concern today. I want these mags done. That is my primary concern. But I also want to get, obviously, a bit done on these steel so that we can get them looking pretty. Now, next I want a nice crisp brush for this. We'll go with this one. And goggles. Now, backboard, and it's just this ridiculously tiny area right there. Hang on a moment, guys. let's adjust into give it a little bit more. All right. Goggles off. Clean brush. Then I'll show you what the, that is not where I want them to be when I'm flicking. Or, yeah, getting stuck in the thin. I don't want potentially launched onto there. Now, this is I'm making a few things. In this particular instance, I'm making a 1971 Boss Mustang 1:25 from Revell. I'm finding it a really nice kit, and a lot of fun to detail. Now, I'm also making a P51B Mustang 1:72 by Armour Hobby. That's another really nice kit. I've really enjoyed that. And an AMG BF109A. Now, this is the way the thing goes up. And what I've done there, it's a very small detail, is just that spot. Let's see if I can get there's a bit of reflection issue going on there. Hang on. A BF109A by AMG models. Can I get a decent... there's a bit of black tidy up to be done there. Those other spots have other colors on them, but yeah. By AMG, that's another one I'm enjoying. And sort of depending on mood and opportunity sort of a thing, I also even have a Viking figure I'm painting. And even a tiger tank somewhere deep in my stash that I started. Yeah. But then there's all the other kits I haven't even looked at. We'll leave that discussion. There's this. We also did drive shaft, and I'm not quite sure what that is. We'll give them a bit more steel. Another probably tomorrow. Hang on, you did say that, didn't you? Yeah, you would have done. Drive shaft. You can see it's not quite consistent, so I'll give it a third coat, and then there's that little bit there, same drill. Anyway, now we'll pop this out of the way. We'll zoom out just a little. There's actually quite a lot. We'll leave that discussion there. Now, mags. Yes. Now, jet black. Where the baby go? Shake, 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 shake. Shake your booty. Ow. Yeah, I'll stop, kids. Don't you worry. Now, this should be nice and mixed because I'd already got a good start on that earlier. I actually did work out the most efficient way of doing these yesterday and the way I found is, or found a good way to do it anyway, so to go right into that triangle first, then round there, and then you just fill it in. Let's see how we roll today. Now, again, it's a nice, once this is fully mixed, it's a nice thick paint to work with as far as it goes. I do rather appreciate that somewhat. I can see why people like enamels in that regard. This is not an enamel, I hasten to add. It's still a lacquer, but it's a thick lacquer in comparison to a lot of, certainly in comparison to the steel. Mouthful of coffee required before going in onto this one. Oh. Goggles will definitely be required. Give us a bloody thing. There we go. And we want a nice sharp brush for this one. We will go. There we are. Now let's get a bit of a camera angle for you guys. That's probably as good as we're going to get. Now, let's get a bit of paint into the brush. Which one was I starting on? That one. Now, right into the very corner is the tricky part I find with these. Sometimes it can be very hard not to nail the nut. No, if I have there, and that's okay, because it'll come up quite clearly. Even with the black paint on it. There's a tidy up I need to do right there. Give me a moment. And I'll get onto that. There we go. Dealing. All right, so there, hang on, I wonder if I can do it like that. The first quarter done, and so we go. Come on, out we go. Oh, is that as far as it goes out? Going the wrong way, that's why. We'll go about there. Now, make sure you guys have still got a decent view. And I should also add, Jeff, these are the Mustang's mag wheels. there's a bit of painting artistry required. Well, a strong word. No, maybe it's not. Of course, got a bit on the top there. You see there's... There we go, clean that off. If you want to get right in, you need to go low. The inherent difficulty can be that you run the risk of getting a bit of muck on the side there, which, as you saw, quite easily cleaned off. There's way too much paint on that. Where was I? Here. Yes. All right. 2. All righty, let's do this. Pretty happy with that one. Coming round to this one. If I start getting a bit sore, it's less of an issue today. I've got massage. And we'll come into there. The reflection off of these can actually make it really hard to paint at times. There we go. A little bit more into there. And there. All right. That's 3 of them done. Pretty happy about all of that. Hang on a moment. Might just do a little tidy up there, and then we'll get on to our 4th segment. Next. Dealy. Christ, I'm hungry. What do I want to eat? All right. Worry about that later. Oops, never mind. Tidy that up later. Got the nut there. Of course, this seems to suggest there's nothing wrong with just doing the black and then nailing it anyway, or just doing the whole thing and then going bang, 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 bang. I just prefer to keep them clean. If there are people who wonder what I'm waffling about there are 5 nuts in these, or a nut in each of these sections that needs to be chrome. And my theory is that it will look much nicer if I can avoid having to put it on top of the black colour. That's my theory. All right, almost got this one done. Once this one's done, probably going to change my brush. I find brushes tend to get a little bit of what I call brush fatigue going on at a certain point, and it'll make it easier and also give me a chance to catch my breath, because this does require a fair bit of focus, and get a mouthful of coffee. Yes. Now, there we go. Give me a moment. There we go. Not quite. All right, almost. Not quite getting in where I want to get. On into there. And oops. Alrighty, almost done on this one. And I've actually made better time than I thought. And then, as I said, we'll change our brush. Yeah, this one's a bit a reflection. It's a statement as to how well Revell have made this these rims gleam, but it really does make it a challenge at times, as I've said before. A little bit of a tidy up once I've gotten this done. And is there a bit there I need? No, alright, we'll just tidy that little spot up. I think I'll even do that just for good measure. Yeah, nice. Oh, a little spot there. Alright, let me just clean my brush. Almost lost my headset, never mind. And once I've got the brush clean, I'll give you a zoom in on that one. And then we will get on to the next one. Then comes the question as to what will be the next colour we'll work on. The mysteries of life. Well, what I could consider, conceivably, is touch-ups on the cabin. There's a couple of little ones that I want to do. And then we can look at or we can look at other things. We'll work this out in due course. Now, in the meantime, I can't even remember which one it was I was working on. It doesn't really matter. They're coming along, kids. They're coming along. All right. One more. Get a fresh brush, as I said. That's what I've just been using. This one's a recent purchase, and don't mind it. One of the things I do like about, I've got a few other brushes with this feature. I'll point this out while I think too. Triangular handle. Now I like that for a few reasons. Where's that going? Now, granted, most round handle ones, this one doesn't. It doesn't have any flat area. Some have a flat sort of surface so it won't roll. That's the thing I appreciate. But also, I know through working in education that triangular pens are actually considered easier to hold. Oh my word, what a shape is this? Triangular. Who would have thunk it? Fantastic in my eyes. Now, let me just get a mouthful of coffee. Alrighty. Goggles on. Then we'll get this last mag done. Or at least the jet black on it. Then I may as well, let's have a look and see if there's any points I want to do any jet black touch-ups on the cabin and the doors. For no better reason than, well, I may as well. Then, yeah, we'll see. Oh, we'll see. Dealing. Yeah. Not yet. Still building up its reservoir. There we go. Now we're working. And now then, getting there. Now, all right, there's one. Alrighty, now getting there, guys, getting there. I might just move that up a bit, and there we go. A bit of a tidy up required there. Give me a moment. Delete. Just round here. First, we'll do that little clean up before that gets too settled in. Come on. There you go. That's the way. There we go. And a bit more into there. Oops. All right. Now, oh, I every now and again, because of course I've got multiple platforms going, and I'll get a message from on Twitch, and unless it's actually somebody I know with about 90% frequency, it's somebody offering to get me viewers. And the inherent problem with that is, of course, any viewers they get you aren't actually that invested in what you're doing. So I'll get you the viewers, but it won't amount to much. That's my experience. Because I did do that once. Now, excuse me a moment. All right. Next segment. Excuse me a moment. Just a bit of a tidy up there. Alrighty. Now, is that... Sometimes it can be really hard to tell if it's actually muck or whether it's just reflection. I guess to some point that's the whole thing right there, isn't it? Anyway, getting back to business. Yeah, we're getting there now. Oop. Now. My headset's doing annoying things again. I'm unsure if it truly merits replacement or whether I should just deal. I mean, I can replace it. I prefer not to if I don't have to. And all right. Oops, two spots to tidy up here. All right, how are we traveling? Almost there. Yeah. Come around here. All right, last segment. Yeehaw! And then, at least as far as the jet black goes, our mags will be done. This is good shit, kids. This is very good shit. And I would suggest I have time to do some other colours. Yeah. And I'm thinking looking at any little tidy ups I might want to do on the interior very quickly with this jet black. I could even potentially just give some things another touch up just because. All right. Yeah. Oh. That's good. Whew. All right. Getting there now. Now. There we go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There's our mags in jet black. Fantastic. Well happy with that. Only pink. I do seem, on the topic of pink in this is as far as aircraft paint jobs go, all bullshit aside, I do seem to recall, and I'm happy to stand corrected on this or whatever, that pink is commonly used for high altitude because of it works better from at higher altitudes for camouflage. I had heard that. As to whether that's absolute crap, I do not know. Now, before I go and see what else I would like to tidy up in our jet black, goggles off, that's better, and just put that to there. Here are our mags. Now we've got to do the chrome bolts, but boom, there we are. They can go to there. Now, Egypt black, I want to really tidy up here. No, but there's a couple of spots that might look a little nicer. We'll get Mr. Citadel for this, I think. Yeah, where are you? He's playing hide and seek. Hey, don't lie to me. Rubbin. Aha, is that him? There we are. No, we aren't. Left it out on the table somewhere. That'd be most unlike me. Hang on. Where the hell is my Citadel? That's not it, is it? No, of course not. The Citadel brush is the one I'm looking for. I know exactly which one I'm looking for. And I can't find it. Where have I put it? Now I'm getting a bit annoyed with myself. What's the betting? It's right in front of me. I was being a blind bastard. All right, well, we won't get into too much anguish over that. We'll go with maybe this one. Nope. Where have I put it? That's just annoying. That is. Never mind. I'll find it in due course, no doubt. Where could it? Anyway. Yeah, that's what I thought they were, David. Yeah. Which sounds odd, but again, if it's for the then there might be other reasons, but I do seem to, like I said, I do seem to recall that was the case. because I think it was maybe even AZ models that, because they've actually got quite a good Spitfire range. I reckon they actually had, excuse me, a Mark 11, maybe, with that paint job in mind. There we go, that's going to look much nicer with that little touch. I haven't quite finished tidying it, but yeah, that's better. Stronger colours are better. You know what I'm saying? If you got any doubts, tidy that shit up. You'll be happier for having done so. Yeah, I'm definitely happier for that. Now, a little bit more there, perhaps. Now, the other one's not quite as sketchy as that one was. That's better. Much better. Give this one a bit of a slap around. What I'm going to be doing with this cabin is, while we're doing all sorts of other bits of hand brushing, I'm just going to do some tidy ups on, and not just on the cabin, but on all sorts of things. As far as, may as well, whilst that opportunity is there, that's my position anyway. Yeah, much better. Much, much better. Now, I do want to be a bit aware of the time, because I have, Jesus, as always, early appointments. Give me a moment. There was actually a bit of tape. All right. Very pleased with the progress we've made today. All righty. Bam. Just tidying up the seats there. These are the back seats, looking much nicer for that, in my opinion. I might need to do the whole, use my hand as the backer. They're the back seats, but they're looking much more solid in their colour now. Still got to do a bit of tidy up work on the other areas, but the cabin's looking very nice. We're coming along very nicely. Now, is there anything I want to do here? No, hang on. A little touch there. Maybe. What about here? Yeah, okay. I see. It's a blind. There's just a little area. Yeah, good. What I'm trying to avoid doing is getting this black on the door. There's an area that comes out, obviously, from the door to create a certain point, and that's what I'm trying to get the black on now without getting it on the dark grey of the door itself. Thus far, it's happening. Yeah. That's better. There's a little touch-up I'm going to need to do in the dark grey in a couple of spots, and that's fine. Yeah, that's better. I can even potentially show you the difference on... How's this one travelling? Well, that one's actually pretty good. Hang on, there's a little spot here I need to tidy up. That magpie's very vocal this morning. Now, good. And in fact, no, I don't need to do any tidy ups. All right. So what I did there, I'll see if I can have to give you a bit of a. I'll need to use the cardboard. You might be able to notice that there's a. If you look at this one here, there's a slightly raised, not there, but just there, that creates that. What I did was I just painted the little area that was just a little lip that was sticking out there that hadn't been painted. Now it has. Now, zoom out. Clean brush. Now, next, we have a few other color options we do. Now, with the interior, I only do one color at a time, just because. Excuse me. Now, rinse. And also because at the end of the day, actually I could do, oh no. Let's see what I've, yeah, like I said, it's just going to be easier done that way. Now, next, assembly sheet. Now, these are largely done. G, give me a moment. What was G again? Yes. 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 Yep, all got it happening. Jolly good. Now, yes. Here we go. Right. Now, there's a couple of questions I have here. All right. The only real question rightio. Just identifying a few colours here, people. All right. Yes. Ooh. We're going to airbrush those. We'll worry about them later. Oh, that's a bit good. All right. Now, what colour I think we're going to go for is F, which is actually, German filled grey. Now that's rather convenient because there's a part I should have airbrushed in that colour that I didn't. If I can locate that. Now, well, the parts we're requiring for German filled grey are 93, 94, already done that, 121, but I think I've already done that. Right. Now, give me a moment while I just see if I can locate. Up there. Aha! That's the part I'm looking for. Yes. And then 93 and 94 are most likely over here, I would suggest. I've already given them a bit of a slap around. Excellent. And in fact, they're good. Might as well do these ones while they feel like they need surfacer. Yeah, they do. Won't do those right now. That's fine. Okay, which means our next port of call will be probably, now we can go Cart Black. just see if there's any card black I need to apply here. No. No. All right. Card black on the top of 91. Anywhere else? Airbrushing that. No. All right. All right. So, Cark black. Cark black. Boom. Quick and easy. Now, once I've gotten... Now, so we're looking for 91. Oh, who would have thunk it? 91. And it's... I see how it operates. Yep. So it's just the top of this that is black. The bottom is white. Yes, it is. Now, after this, if I get some red paint, we can conceivably do the battery. That looks like it's adequately mixed. So, there we go. That's all we need. And then now we'll go with, that's probably not a bad one for the job actually. Now a Cark black is a very flat sort of a black. I usually use it for rubber tires. I might give you a bit more of a zoom in than that. You can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. But in this case, as Revell rather generously supply us with real rubber tires, there's no need for that. So we shan't worry about that. Now, once I've gotten this one done, I shall need to, actually once I've gotten this one done, I'm going to be cruising. I've seen what the time is. But I'll also give you a zoom in on what we've done today. We did achieve our primary objective, happily, which is the completion of the mags, or at least the jet black on the mags. Oops. This is again a bit of a thin paint thing. You need to more work them in and brush them on. Now, once I've gotten, there we go. Probably need to give that a bit of a touch up, but that's fine because that's a pretty normal outcome. And just round this side a bit. Now there. And there. Oops, got my spot I didn't want. Never mind. Actually, I wonder if, do I feel that brave? Yes, I do. Some of it off. Yeah. And there. There we have him. All right, clean brush. All right, now zoom out a bit for the time being. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I want to get a whole stack of things into the P51B fuselage and maybe see about getting the wing assembly happening. And then on the Thursday, I'll probably see about getting the fuselage together and ultimately possibly getting the wings onto the fuselage, but we'll get some other stuff done as well. Friday, we get the BF-109 cockpit ready for fuselage assembly. And we shall then get the fuselage of the 109 together on the Sunday. That's the plan. Alrighty, now. Alright, now give me a minute. Oh, for God's sake, really. Some paints are just, oh, look at that. That's because it's surface, and that's why. Don't worry about it. Can I get to watch Jeff? All right. Now, what did we do today? Now, the last thing we did was just to get that done. The underside needs to be white. So we'll get onto that probably tomorrow. We refreshed the rear seats, but I still want to do a lot of tidying up just in general on the cabin. We also did a bit of a tidy up on the door trim. Zoom out just a little. There we go. To make them completely done. And we also did a bit of work on our steel. So our drive shaft is looking a little better, but still needs a bit of work on it. As we'll do a couple of other bits like that, yada, yada, yada. But the important bit, we now have 4 mag wheels. Now, tomorrow, we'll get onto the chrome bolts for them. Yeah. And while we're at it, we'll do some other chrome bits too. All right. Zooming right the way out now. We have, dearie me. All right. That is me done for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Now, first-time viewers, you know the drill now, don't you? It's follow, like, or subscribe. If you haven't worked that out for yourself, what are you doing? What do you do? Other platforms. I'm Rob the Builder on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm Robster the Builder on Instagram and Twitch. And what do we come to, people? We come to follow, like, or subscribe. Thank you, David. Now, tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, it's P51B time, and we're going to see about getting that fuselage in. We are? Yes. Or getting everything into the fuselage and maybe the wing assembly happening. With the fuselage together on the Thursday, yada, 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 yada. Thank you, Bassman. And you have a good day too, mate. Now, I'll be back tomorrow, as I said. At the end of the day, at a pretty similar sort of a time, give or take half an hour. Actually, what I was thinking, give or take half an hour. But at the end of the day, we all know the drill, people. I'll be back at a similar kit time and on the same kit channel. And hopefully I'll catch you good people then. See yous.